Hey everybody, Milo here. I'm excited to bring to you this awesome 2-day lesson with Jay, who came in from out of town. We were able to make some awesome progress, both through some swing changes.
Holy cow.
Yeah, you don't feel like you're turning at all. Look at you turn. Yeah, it's beautiful.
Looks like a tour pro.
And some awesome club fitting. We went through a really good process with cool clubs.
Yeah, 173.
Club speed almost to 90. That's PGA Tour average 7-iron speed. Jay is one of our online academy members. He's also attended a Milo Lines Golf school. So it's been awesome to be able to watch him as he progresses through some swing changes and growth in the game. So without further ado, let's get into it. I've been watching golf shots and...
What was the school? Went to one in Phoenix?
Yeah.
He came to the one of the...
It's been almost a year to the date. It was April 23, Dobson Ranch.
I think it looks pretty decent. The shots he's hitting is just pretty good. Just barely left every time.
But I was like this, you know?
Yeah, we don't like that.
For a long time.
You almost got too tall, but the handle was still under you.
Yeah, the exaggeration
At the school, it was
kind of started to finally show up, and now I'm tall.
Yeah.
And so to get into my bends, I feel like I got to almost drop down to bend because I'm here.
Your T-spine and everything looks better now. You look, I think at the school you were kind of like this too. Remember your head was like kind of up?
Yep.
I think you were like that. And
Not
now,
even rounded
now
out
you
at
look,
all.
you actually look pretty good.
I don't think it looks bad, just what I'm seeing. I'll film some.
He also has quite a lofted impact, so.
Yeah. That one launched too high.
It's not bad.
No, he's a little lifty in the early part of his backswing. Tends to pull it when he hits it good. Let's take a look real fast.
Okay.
So I like that you kind of keep moving. There's not really a pause in your motion. But what I do see here is a little bit of a outward lift. So see how your arms are separating from you? They're kind of going out this way.
I hate that.
So that's the first thing I want to clean up, is just get rid of that outward motion, because that gets you really up on top of the plane and coming down a little on the steep side. And then that ball is going to go a little bit to the left. But I like overall the motion of your body is pretty good. You don't invade the space. We could have a little bit more flexion and rotation, but that doesn't couple well with your hands being out and the club being steep.
Sure.
Really, I want to just get you to turn the club back a little bit more, and then we can let it shallow out and drop and unwind. Start it farther right and a little lower.
Recenter is good.
Yeah, just a little scoopy.
Yes.
But I think some of that scoopage is just how it's steep and there's no room to compress into the ground, so you can't deliver this kind of angle into the ball.
Okay.
So what I want to do to start right now is I want you to feel like, as you take the club back, that you're turning your hands more in and up versus you've got significant early elevation of your arms like this. So I want you to feel you got the little trigger, wind, so in, then up. Really feel like we're winding this right side back.
Okay.
We'll start slow again and we'll build. Let's just start with some foundation ones off of a tee. I just want you to leave the arms how they are, wind them in, stretch this right side back. There you go, just like that. And then just hit a little chip shot. Good.
If there's a line on the ground, like target line, it's like people want to trace it with their hands and arms. It's like trace it with your wind up.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of great players that sucked it inside. They wound it up so good, and when they rerouted it on top, they were like,
That's why
money.
I found you guys. I don't want to think about all this. I would rather just go, you know?
The vast majority of good players took it inside. If you go back throughout history, it's just in modern times it's more out in front of us. But
again, for 12, 15 years, I was this roller.
And we don't want to roll it, we want to turn it.
So to get away from that, the guys were saying, well, you need to get it outside. You need to get it outside.
Let's find the medium between the two where it's just your arm structure stays pretty intact and we just turn and bend correctly. Pretty good. Now every shot I want to have starting to the right of this orange stick that's out here in front of you. Good. See, it feels like that's way off to the right, but that ball went at the red flag, didn't it? But it becomes a lot easier if you turn the club in. Now that path into that ball is a lot easier to make. Turn the ribs. Good. Perfect. So check it out. See if your hands are tracing a new arc. Ooh,
Oh boy.
that's simple. That's nice. Okay, so now let's add to it. Let's start adding a little bit of trail wrist extension. Okay? And then in transition, a little bit of hip hinge. So I want you to really feel in, load, flex, turn, all one flowing motion, but you're turning it back to where your arms are in front of your chest like that. The wrists get pretty loaded, something like that. Now, if your wrists are this loaded, how are we going to apply the golf club? What do we have to feel? A little bit of that, okay? And then just keep unwinding and just dink it out there. Okay, so were you low enough?
No.
Okay, what's his ball position look like? It looks like it might be a hair too forward almost. Yeah, maybe a hair too far forward. Good. That one was good. Beautiful. See the trajectory now come down?
Yeah, what happened?
So now I want you to keep growing it. Feel like you wind just a little longer. And you can load the wrist, but feel like your body winds just a little bit more and longer. And then we can drop just a little bit more and just a little bit longer in transition. Okay, good. Rehearsal exaggerated. Okay, wind, 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 drop, turn. Beautiful. Yeah. Let your arms feel like they're just a little bit less of a power generator and a little bit more just kind of flowing along with you.
Okay.
Can you make it start just a little farther right? How would we make it start farther right?
Try to feel that kind of going back a little bit more.
Here, I'll give you a feel. Swing it up. So if I keep your hands more back here and I make you go that way, now where are you going to start it?
Yeah, it's got to go.
It's going to start right, isn't it?
Past it.
That was really good. Turn it up and in. Flex it down. Get out of the way. Boom. Look at that. Okay, now let's start winding it a little bigger, longer. Still stay that smooth, that much energy, but just start lengthening out the wind up. There we go. Feel that, how long you wound up. Make that rehearsal flow all the way through. So one rehearsal, all one flowing motion. So I want a little bit more energy through it. So you're feeling like an actual motion. Okay. So wind, wind, wind. It's pretty good. You feel like your arms are just going around because you tend to go.
Just don't understand what is causing it or how much to shut it off.
Just not up.
Just don't feel any up.
And I do it everywhere. It's in short game. It's in sand trap. It's like it's just lit.
Well, it's because you built a pattern. So when you build a pattern, it kind of shows up everywhere. But look at this motion. If we can just clean up that arm lift, we've got some really awesome stuff. Because look at how your body's moving.
Holy cow.
Yeah, you don't feel like you're turning at all. Look at you turn.
Night.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Looks like a tour pro.
And look how shallow it comes down. It's like, oh, we're killing it. It's beautiful. Great golf swing. I would just love to get rid of, see how your hands have just a little bit of that?
I didn't see it. Oh, okay, they're kind of coming into me too much.
Yeah, they're up and out in front of you and then they go just a little bit this way in the transition. I'd rather them just be here, back out in front. Here,
okay,
back out in front. Ooh, tasty. Yeah, that was really good. He gets a little, that was nice.
Oh yeah, good.
You feel that?
Yeah.
That looked much more structured, but it's still loose.
Yeah.
But it's like,
Way
whew.
out and away from.
But a lot of great golfers talk about the swing being from here to here. That first part of the takeaway, if they can just set it and get it right, feel like it's in front of them, it's in control, face good.
Yeah.
game over.
Starting wind up, it's done.
That's how I felt, but mine was getting out here and doing all
It's
kinds
hard
of
when you
weird
start adding
stuff.
elements. That was really good.
Wow.
That's crispy right there. A nice little tight draw, about 150 yards.
That's nuts. I didn't even try to do that. I'm so used to trying to manipulate this.
Like I say, first things is really like we'll go through and measure what you've got in the bag, talk about it a little bit, favourites, and that gives us like a jump off point today to be like, okay, what's problems, what's good, what should we focus our attention on, what are our goals for the session, just make sure that you get out of much of it as you need.
All right, sounds like playing.
All right, so it takes about 15 minutes and we kind of talk as we're going, but really you kind of just watch it and it's kind of fun to see what your golf clubs are built like right now. So do you have any clubs in the bag that you favourite or ones that you hate?
I'm loving the 8-iron. Like, I just feel like I can get solid contact out of that 8.
Okay.
And again, so the 8-iron,
The
that was your favorite club.
Yeah.
yeah.
I like it.
You found that it's what?
The 8-iron and the 7-iron are the same in length as each other.
So the 8-iron's a little over.
Yeah, and the 7 is matching the rest of the set.
What about swing weight?
But this is the big one right here. Because that 8-iron's longer than
Yeah.
it should be, its swing weight jumps up way higher than the rest. So all of a sudden now we've got two things standing out about the 8-iron. Yep, could be psychological, but now probably not. It's longer,
cool.
it's heavier in the head. The lie angle is almost certainly going to be different. So there's loads of stuff different about the 8-iron. So now it's almost like we're on a back down to normal 35 and 3/4 cut length on that white line.
They're a whole
Even
inch
over
different.
there. Yeah.
Your
So-
stepping's all jacked up.
That makes it really tough for you to pull an 8-iron out and then a 9-iron out and just...
Is that common, or was that common back in 08, or is it just like, hey, let's manufacture these, cut them up, get them shipped out, hey, we're
Yeah.
good to go.
And that's the difference, and we like to say it's the difference between club assembly and club building. You know, when things are on an assembly line, just pump, get it done, chop them up. Actually, Mizuno are actually one of the best companies out there now for producing stock equipment. They make really, really good stuff, and all of the companies, in fairness, have gone from, this is 14, 16 years old now,
Oh,
right?
yeah, they probably cleaned it up since then.
So everyone's kind of figured out this is how we do it, but mistakes get made. You know, building a club with your spec, we know that one builder's dedicated to all of your clubs. So before we've done the loft and lies, basically this is length and flex and swing weight, and we're looking for, like I say, either an increasing number going down the set, which would be considered flighted, getting softer in 4-iron, stiffer in the wedges, or all this number within 0.2 of each other would be considered, under our scale, really good, 1/4 of a flex difference. But what we're seeing is half a flex fluctuation pretty much through the set. It's pretty good in the 9-iron, 8-iron, 7-iron and 4-iron, but the 5-iron's softer, the wedge is softer, and you can start see these two you can ignore a little bit because they're a completely different product made by different people. But the swing weight as well, we saw that big jump from the 7 to the 8-iron. That's the length issue that's gone on. We've got, you know, conflicting lengths through the set, some longer, some shorter. Really, it makes it hard to be a consistent golfer when your golf clubs are inconsistent. So that's why this piece of the puzzle is so big for us to start. It helps people understand not only what we're going to do for them in terms of building the clubs, but what they're playing with, and starts to link those feelings. While my 8-iron's good, that gives me something to hang on to. Maybe this guy likes swing weight. Maybe we need to add more length. And I'll check out the lie angle. Maybe it's a lie
I'd
angle
like to
thing.
get along with all my clubs if I could.
Right, all of them. That's the thing. Have you had these adjusted or no?
I had like one pro kind of dink around with my gap wedge a little bit.
Okay. Just to get the loft in the right spot, or?
I think we were working with lie angle.
Okay.
It was a couple of years ago.
So same kind of thing here. Like the Mizunos originally had, you know, a standard, right? That was whatever that loft was through the set. I can't recall it right now.
Yeah.
And then lie angle, for every ½ an inch you lose in length, you normally jump up about ½ a degree in lie angle. So that triangle's changing shape, right? And your posture is going from 4-iron down to wedge. So that lie angle adjusts with your posture. There's loads of different beliefs on that.
That much adjustment, right? Like your setup should be pretty much your setup for a lot of the clubs. Like you don't really get much more bent over unless you're hitting.
Well, you're losing a few inches of golf shaft through. Like imagine your driver's out here, and you're, let's say most drivers around 59, 60, 58, something like that, and then your wedge ends up at about 64 in a standard setup, because obviously you've gone from 45.5 inches down to 35, in your case 34.5. So we've lost like 10 inches of golf shaft between those two clubs. So that lie angle has to dynamically, you know, be. You are more on top of it just with that length change. So we expect to see that lie fluctuate through the set, but it should be pretty linear. Although some people believe it should be all the same, or there's a bunch of different theories on that. But we've had consistency. Wow, this is the pitching wedge. This is a good one.
Pitching wedge always goes upright. Is it upright? Yeah, it's upright.
So it's 4 degrees upright from where your
Oh,
9
baby.
is. It's way,
You were
way out.
hitting that little left yesterday in that lesson.
Tends to pull it when he hits it good.
Yeah.
Can
Every
blame
ball
it-
to the left.
Can I blame that on the?
Yeah.
Yeah, 4 degrees.
100,
That's
yeah.
a lot.
You got no. Let's just do that.
We tinkered with, so
This
in the
is-
example for the video that we did for the website, we moved my lob wedge, was it 4 degrees?
Yeah.
And I literally would sit here and hit it into the left corner of the screen.
I watched that.
Yeah, it makes a
That was
difference.
4 degrees.
That was 4 degrees.
So this is your 9 iron, which is at 62, and this is the pitching wedge at 64. So
See how much
just
higher the
look at
handle
where
has to be?
Oh my
is.
god, yeah.
Just that club soling out flat on the ground there. So you've got to account for that
So
it's-
in your swing.
Is it digging? Is that what you're going to usually heel dig?
Heel grab. You're also, the other major factor is the loft points left. So the pitching wedge is more upright than
Then the gap.
gap wedge.
So yesterday we started with pitching wedge, and then what did you hit kind of between that?
8.
It was
iron?
we went from pitch to an 8 iron.
Okay.
8 iron was good.
Yeah, well, the 8 irons.
Yeah, those first like 10
Yeah,
wedges on video.
pretty good, flat standard.
Yeah, just slightly flatter than standard, huh?
Yep.
Look at that. Your pitching wedge is 2 degrees more upright than your lob wedge. We'd like to probably get those about the same, maybe.
Yeah.
My green in regulation is already going up this season.
Basically, all these will be really close.
So just this lie angle, the fluctuation in the lie angle, we want either a steady increase, some people believe in flat line, but essentially this looks pretty good. Up half a degree and we lose half an inch. Up half a degree, up half a degree, and then bang, all of a sudden 4 degree jump.
That's pitching wedge and gap wedge both kind of.
Yeah, they're really upright comparative to that 9 iron, that 8 iron, that 7 iron, that 6 iron setup. And then we go down into here, and these two clubs are not part of that Mizuno setup, and they're pretty much standard of what you'd see off the shelf. Okay, so just stand in good posture, arms hanging down, palms facing kind of me, and that's a good reference as your glove there. 36.5 inches wrist to floor and 6'2". So
that's average, right? It sounds like these numbers are starting to line up.
if you were looking at just static, you're actually a little over. So yeah,
okay.
tiny
That's
bit.
good to know.
So.
Yeah.
Is that atypical, like kind of height of your flight too?
That was actually a little bit lower than I normally
All right.
So this is 7 iron in his set.
Yeah. Angle of attack's just kind of matching what we've seen earlier, 0-ish.
Little up on everything. He liked yesterday when we had him out. His ball position was real forward, and everything was.
Too forward.
Yeah, he had it way forward like driver.
Okay,
It's pretty forward right there, just looking at it.
that's nice.
A little toey, but
7. Angle of attack's down 1 degree. Club path into out a hair.
So do you remember sort of your key feels from yesterday? What were those?
I feel like that it was just turn this thing back,
68.
keeping it close to inside,
Yeah.
and trying to be flatter. And from the comments, I'm still doing this back there, but I'm trying to think flat.
Yep. More round with your wind up, not lifting your arms.
Okay.
So if it's a little more with the wind up, now you can get your upper center on top and
No,
get your low point out front. And just check that ball position because it tends to get a little too up. That was pretty good. A little push, but the low point was better. You can't hit better than that.
Can I see the bottom of that club for a second?
that's pretty good right there. The last couple have been nice.
I definitely want to give him at least, that length back, a 1/4 inch over at least. To,
Yeah, I think he needs more long. I think
Yeah.
a 1/2 inch.
the loft is pretty traditional. This was strong for back in
Mm-hmm.
2008, and now it's like one of the weakest, almost a blade comparative. I think I can clear that up with sole design, like make it a little better.
So the sole, you're saying sole design and length, those are kind of two things you're seeing?
So yeah. Sole design is just going to help protect against that. When it gets shallow, it's still kind of cutting under the ball a
That
little
was
bit.
pretty good. Jay, you were more on top of that one.
And you never want to give someone that's shallow too much bounce
Yeah.
because it will ricochet. So it's like finding that shape of the sole. So Shrixon might be a good option here with that V sole. And then length, he's got that penchant for gripping down on it.
So the last two are pretty good, but what's his AOA? That's negative.
One.
-1.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not. Or is it 1?
Yeah, -1.
Yeah, -1. Okay. That's still not down enough.
That was nice.
There you go.
Pretty down. That'll be down 2.
I like how your chest is like, you're a little more over here. That means you kind of covered it, right?
About as good as he's got right there.
All right, so what are you doing here, Jack? You're going through...
You're just looking at what the optimal shaft is.
Yeah, shaft, looking at that speed, looking at that tempo again, and also taking into account flight. So we're seeing, you know, maybe a little higher than normal spin or higher than optimal spin, but he's presenting in a little more loft and his angle of attack shallow. So some of that is just like his thumbprint at the moment, where if I give him a golf shaft that's in this recommendation that spins higher naturally because it's lighter, it's going to go against what we want. So it's like finding a balance between what we're talking about here, like technique and the changes that he wants to make.
That was perfect right there.
And the golf shaft that's not going to kick it and pop it too high.
What would that last one look like?
He's starting to hit it a little better now too, so this would be a good time.
2.5 degrees
So
down.
he's down 2.5 now.
And zeroed out facing path. But look at these RPMs are 8,000.
Yeah, he's spinning it like an 8 iron. Pretty good.
All right,
I think some of that's going to change with the more modern implementation.
for sure. Yeah, with that loft alone is going to help that out.
The last 10 or so you've hit have been a little bit better. So talk us through, let's do a recap from yesterday, what you were feeling, what you're feeling now.
Well, I was listening to you guys talk back there.
Chirping.
And yep, I need to get this ball back, so I did that.
Yeah,
I need to quit gripping down on the freaking grip so much, but my wind up, kind of no hands. Like, make sure that I keep those out of it and let this track inside.
Okay.
I can't get inside enough, it doesn't seem like.
You're feeling like, go ahead and set up.
Yeah.
You're feeling like if I have my hands here, you're just winding it.
Yeah.
Using your rib cage to wind it up the plane versus you lifting it up the plane so much, right?
And my tendency is to lift it almost straight off the ball.
Yeah.
Yep.
And get it going.
Yeah.
In every aspect, wedge, sand, everywhere.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to work on that and then just keep this flat. So Matt Kuchar-esque almost, just flat.
You feel Matt Kuchar.
I do.
You're not.
I believe you.
And that's helped you create a little bit more downward angle of attack into the ball.
I feel like that the downward has come because once I get flat, I feel like I can lead my left shoulder down a little bit more.
It pushes your low point forward, an angle of attack down, and then that's why the last few you've hit ball turf. Before that you were hitting like sweep. Just sounded like a sweep.
Because of the everything.
Well, it's all the whole system. We moved the ball back in the stance. We got you turning correctly. You feel like your lead side's staying down. All that contributes to push the low point in front of the ball. I want to thank Cool Clubs in Scottsdale, Arizona for hosting us today and allowing us to come in and use their awesome facility. Do yourself a favor and get fit. Check out their website for a list of locations.
That wedge is going to be crispy now.
Ball speed, launch and spin can do to your distance. The right way, keeps that tough. I feel like that sole design is the way for him. Gives him to get under the ball, but protects against that.
So what do we got going on here?
So ZX5, Modus 120 stiff, smooth profile, stronger than what he's playing in the tip for sure, and then a little bit of length back. So hopefully that feels more comfortable.
Talk me through the difference on the sole designs, because that's...
So this has got a big V sole. I don't know if you'll see this on the camera. That side angle maybe, you can see a front portion and then a back portion.
Okay.
So basically, it's actually very, very high bounce once it reaches this point, but it allows that leading edge to get under the ball. So people who kind of either come in really steep, it starts to dive out at that point, or people who come in shallow catch that edge and it bounces a little bit and gets them out of the ground. Whereas something like this has got a similar kind of idea, but it's very, very early on that edge. So it's going to go under that ball a lot quicker with this club. The higher bounce is going to help in that midsection.
And these are a hair longer?
Yeah.
That was pretty good right off the bat.
First ball, whack.
Yeah, crispy.
How much we spin that one?
Crispy. I haven't heard that word today.
Oh, look at that.
1 second.
How's it look? Looks pretty nice.
Yeah, it looks nice, but it's so much.
Can I see it real quick?
Way smaller.
Oh, it is way smaller.
These Strixons are pretty nice though.
That was already a lot better.
Wow. He's swinging pretty good right now.
Yeah, that's good.
You feel any difference in weight or flex here?
Definitely. I don't know how to describe it exactly.
60.
It's just the balance of it is different. Like it feels like head weight is is more significant. Even though that this is smaller head, it feels like it's carrying a lot of the weight down low.
It's a half-inch longer. He kind of hooked it a hair.
Yeah.
Now, that's really pretty decent for a slightly thin. Yeah, you'll take that miss.
That was really good. He's moving good. He's covering it a little better.
Yeah, I think the longer club helps a bit.
When you guys said I wasn't getting any negative, I was like, I know that means I got to get.
Yeah.
Well, it's a little with your wind up too, but yeah.
But that translates into a lot of other good.
When you lift like this,
70 carry.
it's like your whole upper center. You're not winding, so you stay on tilt too, on angle. So you're a little lifty, and it makes it hard to get back on top.
We picked
Plus,
up
your
some
hands
gas.
are moving more down to recover. If you're here now, I've already kind of recentered. I'm done. I can just go.
I'm gonna grab that live
You know?
as well.
Oh,
Oh,
Strixon's hard to beat.
Look at that.
Yeah, and I don't feel like I have to really go at it to do that.
That's really good. 167. Does that sound like a nice carry number?
For a 7, yeah.
Land angle 47, which is nice. He hit that one just a hair fat. You might be the fastest iron fitting of the day. We didn't even need to do the fitting. He already had it all.
Calculated.
Yeah.
There you go.
It definitely gets easier as I've seen you hit at all these different clubs, you know what. Well,
He's like, oh, I was right the whole time.
Yeah, what about where'd the club land on the ground? Was it heel side, toe side?
both sides, yeah.
Toe down?
More length. I can back out with it and get maybe the nearest standard.
Yeah, because some of his divots yesterday, if anything, were a little toe
Mhm.
down.
This is saying a whole degree from where it is.
A degree. It needs to be upright a degree.
Yeah, but
That makes sense though.
What are
That's
they
based
at
on.
now? What?
the standard now.
Oh yeah.
61
Yeah.
and a half. So
It's moving pretty dang good.
right, you know.
So I talked to Jack about that club you just had. I know when we put it on the lie board, it said we needed to bend it a degree more upright. But I told him I want to leave it where it's at because I want to incentivize some of the patterns we're working on in your golf swing. A little more around, a little more flexion and rotation, a little less wanting to get the handle up. And so I told him, whatever it is, I think we should keep it.
Great. Don't give me too many Band-Aids.
Yeah, I don't want you to have an incentive to get the handle up.
Plus, you were hitting it pretty good.
Yeah, it was
At
going
that
straight.
lie, it wasn't
Yeah.
that bad. So this is a little different shaft.
Mhm.
What's
KBS, so it's just designed to spin, or should spin a little more than that Modus. But these profile change, you know, one little thing like that saying it's the same weight golf shaft, it's built for the same kind of speed category, but it can feel so different. So although the profile might be good because it helps it spin, it might not feel good to the player. And you can see right now, it's the consistency is kind of dropped off compared to that Modus straight away. Same club head, same length, same lie, same loft.
yeah? If anything, he's starting to hit it a little left and not as clean contact.
And I didn't touch any of those white dots there. That's good, bad, and indifferent. I didn't have to clean one bad shot up, and his grouping's incredible. And right now you can see that spread shorter
Yeah.
and wider. Okay.
Throw it away.
No bueno.
No bueno.
He's hung around with me long enough. He's picked up the no bueno.
Oh, this is Modus again.
Back to Modus, and now we've got T200. Okay, nice soft design on the sole. Should spin a little more than the
Yeah.
True Comp. You can see the contact straight
Yeah.
away with that golf shot.
This is this is Titleist.
Yeah. T2.
Yeah, but that Modus shaft fits him. It
Mhm.
just works.
And I actually see a lot of that. That's just from experience, knowing like when guys like DI, for some reason that seems to match up with Modus in there.
So much cleaner. So is that where?
Crush that thing, $120 ball
What's the difference with the Modus? Is just a different kick, or
speed. Yeah, completely different.
so where's it kicking compared to that other one?
More in the middle.
Okay.
KBS is definitely more tipped, and the Modus is definitely more in the middle.
Okay.
7,000. This head spins
The
a little
head
more than the Strixon.
The golf shaft we know is solid, but that I did bring this which is the 790. It's a good swing still. 790. This thing's going to be the other end of the scale. It's going to come out like a bullet, probably jump too much, especially if you start pushing this speed up. So we've really only got one other option in this category, which is that Callaway Apex, the new Pro version. All right, we can can it. It spun too much on a good one. Anyway,
did it?
Don't worry.
What's that?
Slimmer sole.
So this is the, what, Apex now?
Apex Pro.
The Cali.
Cali. See, that was a decent move. So let's kill it. Club was lost in the ground.
Isn't that kind of crazy, Jay, that like you feel like you're making pretty much the same swing and like the ball flight and the contact in the ground changes dramatically.
Yeah, so I was like, that was a good swing. Like he said, like I felt like I hit all the checkpoints of the ones where like, great swing.
Yeah.
And the result was terrible, horrifying.
Yep.
There you go.
No bueno.
They hit that one just a hair fat, just like the Callaway, but look how it worked. That club, it like skids through the ground better.
Like a little snowshoe. So that's in the middle of the pack, all of that, distance-wise. Didn't drop off that 10, 20 yards.
There you go.
Groove low, but still, this one seems to be like, the misses are good, the good ones are really good.
And it hit our distance number. That means we can blend the set perfectly. So we just go straight from the 3 hybrid into a 4 iron.
You just hit that one really good. What'd that do?
170, 164 carry, 6700 landing at 50 degrees. Perfect.
Yeah, it's perfect.
Oh yeah.
You hit that one even better.
Oh, that one you just put a little hammer on. That was all.
I winded up.
You did. You put another 4 or 5 miles an hour in there.
Look at
I
his.
heard him in the back of my mind going, wind it up, Jade.
There you go.
Look at that.
173. Love that.
Club speed almost to 90. That's PGA Tour average 7-iron speed.
Wow. Much better.
We chunked it just a little bit, but see how the chunk with that club, it like
It's
still
just-
performs. It only was 10 yards short.
Yeah.
Whereas some of those other ones, you go chunk and it's like, oh my goodness, I'm never gonna find the ball. Yeah, we got a winner. I don't want to touch the lie angle on that either. I think we just use that as the baseline and play off of that thing.
It's nice when you got clubs that actually work. You can kind of go at them, can't you?
Yeah, you get a little bit of confidence.
Yeah, so that is
Huge.
really it. You don't even know you're holding back. And then, think about your set. We're talking about, the 7 versus the 8 length and the 4 iron. We tidy all that up. That's our job, to build them really consistently, hand make them, hand craft them for you. And, you're not going to have that in fluctuation where you got to make a different swing from the 4 or 5.
Yeah.
Do what you do.
Oh my God, was that my swing or my club?
Yeah. Yeah, it takes out that and you can just swing everything with full ball.
Okay, so Jack, what do we end up with?
So Trixon ZX5, and we kind of heard a little earlier like how important that sole design is for you, and hopefully you can feel it coming through the ground, right? Like that one that gets a little fat, gets a little early, just
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So forgiving.
And the head, a little maybe more tech than you've had in your 16-year-old clubs, right? And golf shaft. We actually beef this up quite a lot. Your shaft's lighter, softer, and then the inconsistencies, it's just technology's improved over time. So that's our job now, is to build these super consistent and make them do what they did in the 7-iron all the way through the set for you.
Yeah, it's very impressive. Amazing work.
I know the lie angle is a little flatter, which we left there because of some things we're working on in your golf swing. I like the length of the golf club for you. Fits your posture, how we've been working on not having you quite so bent over or have your hands so close to you. Now you've got a little more length. So I think it matches up really nice.
I can't be more impressed by what a fitting can do to your golf swing.
We get that on tape.
Hey, thanks everybody for watching, and thank you to Cool Clubs and Grayhawk Golf Club up here in Scottsdale for allowing us to use the facility today. And thank you to Jay for coming on out. Hope you guys enjoyed the lesson and kind of the look into how that club fitting works. Really, really important, right?
Yeah, as we found, it was drastic, the difference between clubs that fit and clubs that don't. And it was actually really cool to see a expert fitter and his educated guesses. He got every single club correct before the player hit it.
Yeah.
The first call
Yeah.
on every single club was the best one.
And it was really cool to see that he would put in something else afterwards just to like double check and like immediately see difference, which again, it's kind of that old saying, is it the Indian, is it the arrow? And I think
Sometimes it's both.
Find that combo that works for you. So go get fit. Make sure you guys reach out to Cool Clubs, set that up. And thanks again for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe, and we'll see you guys next time.